The process itself of research is almost prescribed in many ways, because you will have to follow certain steps. If you follow those steps closely and you adhere to what the stipulations are in each one of those steps, you are likely to succeed with your research paper at your MBA. So we'll talk about the preliminaries only, because we cannot do the whole thing, just as an introduction to the research process. Mark Saunders, Philip Lewis, and Adrian Thornhill have written a book called Research Methods for Business Students. And this one that I highlight here is the 8th edition. There are other older editions. And in fact, the concept that I'm looking at will be in all of those editions. So it doesn't matter which one you're looking at. They call it the research onion. They use this as a model to help explain and simplify the understanding of the research process. So they say, according to them, that you must peel this onion from the outside in, like a natural onion. You start peeling from the outside. Once you've addressed this layer, you must peel it off and then move on into the next layer. Once you've addressed this one, you peel this one off and move on to the next layer. This is the order in which they suggest that you must approach your research. Let's look at each one of these one at a time, emphasizing particularly philosophy, research approaches, strategies, choices, and these ones on your right-hand side. Rule of thumb, before we move on to discussing the details of the research onion. First thing that I would do, if I'm, say, for example, addressing the research philosophy for my study, I would define the concept. What is a research philosophy? Why is it important? According to who? And then what kind of research philosophies are available that I could choose from to adopt for my study? That's a second bullet point. And then thirdly, once I've looked at all of these that are available, which one of them seems to be the best fit for the type of study that I am undertaking? And more importantly, you must state the reason why you believe this is more suited for your kind of study. Let's look at the first one, which is the research philosophy. So this is the outer layer of the onion. You have 4 different philosophies or research philosophies. You have positivism, you have realism, you have interpretivism, and you also have pragmatism. You need to look and read around the research philosophy. If you're using this particular text, Saunders and Lewis, they've defined all of these in very simple terms. What does the positivism philosophy entail? What about the next philosophy and interpretivism as well as pragmatism? Once you have looked at all of these, you then decide based on the definitions of each one of these. Remember the rule of thumb? Which of these would be best suited for the kind of study, for the kind